Honey Boy, directed by Alma Harrell and written by Shia LaBeouf. Hope I didn't butcher that name. I've been wanting to see this movie for a long time, ever since I saw the trailers for it. Shia is actually one of my favorite actors because I grew up watching him on Even Stevens, one of my favorite Disney Channel shows. Even when he started doing feature films, I followed most of what he was doing, such as Disturbed, Eagle Eye, and even the Transformers movies. I still remember the LaBeouf phase of him spitting some hard bars.
Give me a word, a syllable, a verb. Damn, I'm a nerd. Still ripping so absurd.
Giving motivational speeches.
Do it!
And watching all of his movies. For a good while, he was sort of a pop icon, and not exactly because of his movies. But Honey Boy seems to tell a story behind the fame, glory, and memes. It tells Shia LaBeouf's unfiltered, real story of growing up with his dad as his manager, Jeffrey Craig LaBeouf, a man with anger issues, little class, and a drinking problem. Someone who should definitely not have been raising a child.
Come here. Child like law!
The story seems very revealing of Shiloh's actual life and doesn't glorify it. It feels like it's a real depiction of how his father truly was to him, and it was a very hard life. His father would belittle him by comparing their privates. He wouldn't allow him to cry in front of him as a 12-year-old, and wouldn't want someone else to be a good parent to him.
Yes, you fucking are. Get your own fucking kid.
I feel empathy for Shia. For when I was 12, I was just playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The story revolves around an older Shia going to rehab and memories of his child self. Old Shia gets into a car accident while intoxicated and goes to another rehab center where he is reluctant to participate in most of the activities. A treatment his counselor gives him is to recall his past of his father, which he clearly knows is the source of his trauma, which jumps into the story of young Shia. Throughout the film, we see cases of abuse and neglect and just plain out uncaring. His father doesn't pick him up after filming, allows him to smoke cigarettes, but tells him not to tell anyone so they don't think he's a bad father, which he is, and goes as far as to punch his son when he finally stands up for himself. As we continue with the story, we jump back to older Shia and finding his treatment and some other therapy actually helping. Towards the end of the film, we realize something which is also a quote said by the director. It's not a biopic, it's a meta-exorcism. Shia made this film as therapy for himself to become and fully let go of the trauma his father put him through. And I think that's pretty powerful. To grow up working on film sets your whole life, to have someone like that raise you and to become what Shia has become, this film really humanizes him and shows that behind the curtain of what media shows are people dealing with real life issues. Putting a face for the camera, then coming home to an abusive relationship.
I don't have to be here. I could be gone a second. I could be gone in a second. I could be pulling 8-10 grand a week. Shut your fucking mouth.
Some key interesting elements really stand out for me in this film that I believe have a deeper meaning. Near the beginning of the film, Jeff is trying to impress a woman on his son's TV set, speaking about his daredevil chicken. He says the line,
"You know what the white spot is in the center of chicken poop? Do you know what that is?"
No, what is that?
That's chicken poop also.
There seems to be a theme of chickens in this film, as they are shown a lot. I go back to his line as a representation of how Shia views himself and perhaps his father. Behind the fame and the money, there's just shit. Expressing there are real people dealing with real situations working in the entertainment business.
It's good on you, honey boy.
There's another animal representation where a white snake is swimming in an apartment pool. The shy girl is watching it and says,
You can walk on water till someone tells you that you don't know how to. You understand?
No. A very cryptic line, but I believe it means you are able to do whatever you put your mind to and not let others tell you what you can't do. Just another way Shia wants to encourage other people to push themselves and see what they can achieve. I think Shia found a nugget of inspiration from his father, which is to push himself to greatness. Behind the neglect and abuse, Shia probably feels his dad helped him become who he is today.
I love you, Jeff. I love you more than words can say.
With a film like this that retells events from a person's life, I truly wonder how much of it was actual depiction of how it would have played out and how much of it was storytelling. A lot of it feels real, but there are just a handful of scenes that made me wonder if they added this just to make it more of a complete story. Which wouldn't make it any less of a film in my eyes. Just a fun thought experiment. After some more therapy, it seems like Shia really is getting the help that he needed, and that he's not sure how to process it. Towards the end of the film, he has a sort of face-off with his dad as an adult. He tells him he's going to make a film about him, and his dad says,
"Well, make me look good, honey boy."
Which solidifies he hasn't really changed much after all these years. Even though Shia has grown through and past his trauma, the person who gave it to him stayed the same. Which I will leave for you to interpret. I'm going to give this film a recommendation for advanced film viewers. It's a very personal story, and if you want to give a deep dive into Shia LaBeouf and what he went through as a kid, then I think you will love this film. Thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you all in the next scene because we're moving on.